Hey everybody, Milo here along with Jack, and we're here at Cool Clubs, and today we're going to talk about how to hit your driver farther than ever using this cheat code. What do we have on the screen here?
It's like the crazy hot chart. There's good places to be and bad places to be. On this left-hand side here, you're going to be looking at how fast the ball is traveling.
Okay.
On the bottom axis, we're looking at your angle of attack, and that's the secret sauce. How fast is your ball moving with your driver?
So play speed somewhere between 180 and 190.
That was pretty good, right? That's your fade.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's what you want.
Middle numbers, 11.5 degrees, 2600.
That was pretty optimal right there.
Let's put you at the top end here, 190, because I think it's going to have a bigger effect. Let's say, for instance, that you made a really bad golf swing and you hit 10 degrees down on it.
Oh man, that would be embarrassing.
You're going to launch it around 3 degrees with 3,500 RPM, and this light green color correlates to 325 yards.
Okay.
Is that anywhere near where you normally hit your driver?
It's a little shorter, but like I fly it usually right around there.
325. So now we basically we can milk this out and see how, as we travel across this chart, where do you get to? Well, if we get you to the darkest green color and hit all the way at the other end of the spectrum, it's 10 degrees up, so you're going to launch it 17.5 degrees with 1,800 RPMs, and now all of a sudden you're at 375 yards. That's 50 yards of distance.
Yep.
Just with an angle of attack change.
I don't think I can hit 10 degrees up.
So trying to break it down into a little more usable data for you specifically. Most people can't hit this 10 degrees up or 10 degrees down. Finding this mid-range here, you're somewhere maybe between 2 and 4 degrees.
Yeah, fairly level, just 2 to 4 degrees up.
So now we've got a pretty good concept of what ball speed, launch and spin can do to your distance.
Yes.
We also use TrackMan during our fittings.
Okay.
It has its own optimizer feature. And what I love about this is it's really specific to that one swing you just made. It doesn't try and put you in a pigeonhole as a specific type of player. We'll say, how much speed did you put in? What was your launch and spin? And where does that need to be to hit your optimal window?
Okay.
What we're going to do is look at your existing equipment. We know that the loft might not be in the right spot for you. And then once it's fitted, how much distance you can benefit from getting the right loft in your driver.
Awesome. Okay, so Jack, we're gonna hit a few shots. Now I have a pretty good golf swing, so I don't necessarily want to change my pattern. I'd prefer to make the golf club kind of more or less fit me. Now, that's not always the case. Some players' patterns don't exactly function correctly, but I'm pretty level through the ball. I actually hit up on it slightly. A piece of equipment could really help me or hurt me. And in this case, we actually took my current existing driver and we turned the loft way down. So it's not what I would actually play. It's even lower.
It's a 7 degree driver.
Yeah, it's a 7 degree driver. And we found it was too low when it was at 9 degrees. Now it's at 7. So this is just gonna show everybody that it doesn't fit.
Right. I mean, when you come to Cool Clubs, we are club fitting specialists. We're really not looking at your swing. That's your job, right?
Yep.
We want to fit you for the swing you have to give you the best possible result, the most consistent as possible. We're using this as an extreme to demonstrate what people do walk in the door with. Lots of clubs that haven't got enough loft or way too much loft. And the knock-on effect of that ruins your job. People that see no loft in it, they try to figure it out and they make bad golf swing after bad golf swing just to get it right.
So I'm just gonna hit a stock shot with this driver and we're gonna find some interesting things, I think.
Yeah.
And what would I do to make the ball fly better? I might actually make some adjustments to my swing that I don't need to make and that could possibly hurt things.
Well, I think that's the great thing. So make a swing like you would, we'll see the ball fly, and like any golfer does, you immediately react to that. And we don't necessarily understand the golf swing enough to make the right reaction to that. And in this case, we're hoping that the equipment is just gonna fix it. But the rabbit hole people go down is, I'm going to start hanging back, or you can tell us your thoughts on what you would do as a good golfer to fix this and see where we end up.
Okay, so here we go. Oh my goodness, it didn't even get to the screen.
2.9 degrees of launch and 1,800
What'd you do to my driver? Well,
a worm burner.
Yeah, so it only flew 245 yards with 184 ball speed.
And you know the interesting thing there is if people were talking about, efficiency, well, you got 1.51 smash factor. So you turned all of your club head speed into ball speed, but your ballistics, your launch characteristics are so disastrous that you carried it the same as most average golfers.
That's funny. Okay, let's try again. So I now know immediately what my brain's gonna say to do is I'm gonna hang back a little bit and throw a little more loft at it
Right.
to try to fix it.
not only is that bad for your golf swing, it's probably pretty bad for your back.
Yeah. So that's, that ball, it went pretty far. I managed to hit up 6
Yep.
and get some decent launch conditions, actually. But that golf swing, I was...
Well, you saw where your weight went, right? Yeah, you fell onto your back foot, you
Yes,
dived
that's-
out the way of it.
Immediately how I would react, though, because of the lack of loft,
Yep.
my brain would say, well, you got to hit it in the air. So then I'd start making some weird compensation.
And for a guy like yourself, you might like to hit a fade and you start hanging back. Well, you either hit the cut because you don't get the face in there, or you hang back and you flip it and you start hitting hooks. So not only does it affect the height of your shot, but you're going to start spraying it as well. Let's make it easier.
Okay.
So to give people an idea, we had this thing at 7 degrees of loft with a pretty decent setup in terms of flex and weight and all those kind of things. This is a 10-degree driver, so we're talking about 3 degrees more of loft, and again, good balance of flex and weight and length.
Okay. So 3-degree loft adjustment. Now, yeah, I feel like I can look down there and I can see there's loft, so immediately inspires a little confidence. I don't feel like I'm going to have to help that ball go airborne. So let's see what we got. I want to thank Cool Clubs in Scottsdale, Arizona for hosting us today and allowing us to come in and use their awesome facility. Do yourself a favor and get fit. Check out their website for a list of locations.
That wedge is going to be crispy now.
Ball speed, launch and spin can do to your distance. The right way, get some stuff in. "13 degrees of launch, 2,500 RPM.
Yeah, so not bad, and I didn't hit it very solid.
No, well, you didn't get as much energy transfer, but so you had higher energy transfer on the very first shot you hit,
Yeah.
and carried it 245, and with that one, you didn't hit it as good, but you carried it 316.
I
'Cause
take
the ball,
that.
The ball's traveling in the air.
For sure, that was a lot better. Awesome, let's try one more.
Nice.
Maybe.
14 degrees, 13 degrees of launch. A little higher spin, but you'll find in the golf course every day.
Yeah, I actually don't mind hitting a little bit of a spinner like that. I didn't hit that one dead solid on the face, but it was still pretty good. Launched a little high, spun a hair much.
Yeah, but dead straight.
Yeah, flew a lot straighter.
And I think people are afraid of spin nowadays. There's been so much negative chat about spin in the industry and products, golf ball, driver heads. They're all aimed at lower spin, and people come in, I want to spin it at 2200 or whatever that might be. Even for you, swinging at a crazy 124 miles an hour there, 3000 spin still puts you well over 300 yards and gets you on the golf course. And I think that concept is something that we need to break into the average golfer.
Yeah, for me, spin is my friend. I don't like to see it drop down under 2000.
Right.
3000's more than I like, but on a miss hit, that's not too bad.
No, absolutely. A miss hit, exactly right. We talked about gear effect earlier on. That is just a byproduct of gear effect.
Yeah.
Mrs. Haverkamp out there, and everyone I think in the industry thinks that they don't hit their driver, or sorry, I think they hit their driver too high. But when you come in and you run through the optimizer, you can see that that golf ball 90% of the time isn't high enough.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of how that ball flies through the air is huge. So this optimizer is for that one swing you made with the TaylorMade, the first driver you hit. And we can see here that your ball speed's way above the good zone. Great, because there's low loft, it's springing off the face. But your launch angle is far too low. Spin rate is far too low, and therefore your height is far too low.
It only got 5 feet high.
25 feet off the ground. It's impressive that you even carried 245 at that height.
Yeah, that's...
This window gives you an idea of where you should have been, and this line is where your ball fly actually flew.
You could go hunting with that one.
Oh yeah, and this is where we got to with the 10-degree Titleist driver. You can see there, your loft is a little higher, your ball speed's down, so you didn't hit this one quite as well in the face, but because the launch was up there and the spin was right in the go zone, your flight wasn't high, and you're actually on the higher side of the optimal, but the carry distance is 70 yards further.
That's a lot. We could see that both of them were kind of similar on attack angle, but because the first club didn't fit very well, I had to make some major swing adjustments to get the launch I wanted, which was hanging back and feeling like I was actually flipping at it, which wouldn't be good for my body. So I would say once you've got a swing that kind of is doing what you want it to, more or less, then you want to get fit up for the driver to create the launch conditions we want. We don't want to try to create those launch conditions by doing funky things with our body.
For sure. When people come in and they've got a fit in, and they're either end of that scale over here on the optimal chart, and let's say they are a long way down or a long way up, sometimes I actually recommend going to see a coach first to help them get that golf swing in a space that's usable. And from there, we can fit them to a driver that really optimizes that. So it's kind of a chicken and an egg situation.
Yeah, sometimes a golf swing could be so far out of whack that it's almost impossible for the fitter to even fit.
Yeah, to get an optimal, if someone was hitting down on it 10 degrees or even 6 or 7 degrees, it makes it really hard to get optimal ballistics. And you know that there's something else going on with that golf swing. In the same vein, if someone's hitting up on it 10 degrees, that's also really, really hard. So it's finding that balance of get your golf swing into that neutral position like you're talking about, then take advantage of equipment.
Based on speed, we want different dynamics as well. So a player who's a little slower might actually want to hit up more than a player who's faster.
100%. I mean, other than extremes we're talking about in long drive, you will normally see people on the LPGA Tour sweeping at the golf ball, taking advantage of hitting high bombs. People on the PGA Tour, you see the average angle of attack with the driver being down because they're hitting it so hard, they've already got distance and they're trying to hit very, very narrow fairways. So it's different for everyone.
What's optimal varies based on dynamics.
Dynamics, and it literally is swing for swing. That's why I love this optimizer. You can't come in and say, hey, what should my spin be? I'm like, let's swing one and see what it is from there.
So hopefully you found this interesting. I find a good driver fitting is quite important in being able to drive the ball well, because we don't want to be making massive compensations in our golf swings. So come get fit here at Cool Clubs. They'll get you dialed like they did me today. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and come join MiloLensGolf.com, where we can help you learn how to swing like an athlete and get your driver swing dialed so that you can make the most of a good fitting.